Beloved friends, the new day has dawned and we're happy for the opportunity of today. We would like to discuss the topic of stress and stress management, especially stress induced or caused or experienced in the workplace. We all know how hectic it could be and how hectic it is when a staff of an organization or a company or a ministry has work to do and has urgent assignments to carry out, and the times are always too short to carry out our responsibilities. The required skills to carry out an assignment, the timeline, and the expectations of the employers always set up staff on a very difficult edge. Sometimes there are stress, there are conflicts, there are problems in the workplaces that make it difficult, almost impossible, for staff to operate at a maximum point. More often than not, we experience also situations of conflicts among people working together that makes the work environment very toxic. All this result in the problem of mental health of the staff. Sometimes again it is difficult in the workplace to find time to go into the self, to reconcile the irreconcilables and arrive at some level of balance in order to operate efficiently. And so by and large, it is difficult to see how one would be able to meet up the requirements of delivering on one's mandate in such a toxic environment. It is therefore very important for any staff and every staff who work in an organization to pay particular attention to his or her mental health. Sometimes we are anxious, sometimes we're very afraid, sometimes we're devastated, we're simply sad, without being able even to explain why we are in such a situation. And therefore, it is recommended that in every workplace, there should be a little calming spot, a little room set aside for people to go in there at such difficult moments, so sit down on their own and then take a deep breath and experience some peace within. If the situation warrants that one should also cry, one should cry out in such a private place, because crying at that point could also be very therapeutic. And so in order to deal efficiently and effectively with stress in the workplace, we must be conscious of the triggers. What are those circumstances that make us feel sad? What are those elements that contribute to our sadness in our workplace? We must be able we must be able to know this and then see how we'll be able to overcome such debilitating situations in our lives. Again and again, it proves to us that we are human beings, that every day is not just like the other day when we were happy. We could have happy days, and then some other they are not equally very happy days for us. And so we needed to have the inner strength to balance these anxieties around us. And therefore, when we are doing that, we're contributing positively to our mental health. Mental health in itself is for us an important aspect of our life. We must pay attention to it subsequently so as to explain the more in details what we are expected to do in order to remain healthy mentally. We have our responsibility. Our health is our responsibility. No one else can do that for us. Friends, let us take time off and look at the way we work and how we work and what makes us happy and what makes us unhappy. Let us also know that we can never shy away from working, because it's through work that we build our society. It is through work that we contribute to the well-being of one another. It is through work that we also fulfill what we ought to become in life. Our self-realization depends partly on how we work. And that is also work is a blessed exercise that brings the best in us, that makes us also contribute to the well-being of others and to the well-being of our society. And therefore it is important that we take our workplaces very seriously, but make it a home that we'll be able to deliver on our mandates and then contribute maximally to the well-being of others. Shalom.